Yeah. Hey, we right back on it. I said we right back on it. Look, I said we right back on it. Boxingego and we right back on it. What up? What up, Fight World? And then we right back on it. Smash the like button. We about to go in. Real hot day in sunny California. We gonna heat this chat up. Yeah. And then we right back on it. I said we right back on it. Let's get it. I'm feeling good, feeling groovy. Woke up, my allergies bother me a little bit. Took an Allegra. Now I feel fine. And then we right back on it. Shout out to Maya, said we right back on it. Black John up on it. Yeah, I said we right back on it. You know, I'm in my prime right now. Like Amazon, optimist. I ain't no pessimist or optimist. Ortiz out here ducking. Watch, we go get that work off. I said we right back on it. City, state, zip. Then we right back on it. I'm gonna get to all the good stuff. We just riding out, vibing out. Ooh, this beat is so plush. I like when that beat is plush. Amanda don't know shit about boxing. HVAC, let's get it. I said we right back on it. Let's do the Boxingego roll call. City, state, zip. Where y'all at? Where y'all from? Maya, we gon' get her. We gon' get her. I know she's scared. It's probably a dude playing like a girl. Shout out to 510 Hilltop, Richmond, California. We on that masterpiece shit. And I'm about to paint a masterpiece, bitch. Oh my gosh, let's get it. Yeah. I said we right back on it. City, state, zip. I said we right back on it. Brooklyn back on it. 626. Said we right back on it. They ain't fucking with me, I told y'all. Shout out to Australia, Crikey. 239 Fort Myers, Florida. You know what it is. Stand up. It shouldn't be because of money. Your boy wasn't ready. You're clearly not a girl. I can tell by how you talking. So you're a man pretending to be Amanda. Off top, I don't respect anything you doing. You a catfish, dog. Shout out to Pasadena. Missy, misdemeanor. I ain't even gonna shout out where you from. Because you a man pretending to be a woman on a chat. Amanda Laning. Shout out to the DR. I said we right back on it. City, state, zip. Said we right back on it. Said we right back on it. Right back on it. Did him like Pacquiao versus Jeff Harnett. Let me stop. Fuck. Coming off the top. We not stop with this. You can't rock with this. Shout out to San Pablo. Shout out to Frisco. Oh, I love to hear that. The Bay Area. They ain't got the charisma like me. They ain't shining like me. Diamond in the rough. Underdog season. Stand up. Said we right back on it. Shout out to my dude Sterling. Cinnamon Savage. We some savages. We about to do you like Leo in the Revenant. I'm taking them to church like a reverend. But I ain't passed the mace. I passed the mace. Pepper spray when I... Oh my gosh. It's straight blast your face. Shout out to Brooklyn. Let's get it. I don't even freestyle. But I'll write my ass off. I'll write you into a graveyard. You better stop. Ortiz and Wilder knew Eddie Hernia would do that. Let's get it. Okay, y'all want to talk about it. This beat is smooth, though. Make sure you guys come in. We're going to talk about it. The fans want to talk about it, so let your boy speak. Shout out to Be More, where they see more. You know, work hard and you could be more. So, Anthony, Amanda on his girlfriend account. That's what I'm saying. You a dude posing as a woman. He's like, no, I'm not. I said my name is Amanda. Bars. He posed as Amanda. He said, I'm technically telling the truth. I'm a man, duh. Get it? Man, duh. Bars, they not fucking with me. I told you they not fucking with me. I got bars for anybody who want it. Anybody can get it. Any of y'all critics, let's get it. He said we need to talk about Anthony Joshua ducking expeditiously. See, LJ, she from Australia and she know I got bars. I said a man, duh. He's posing as a woman. A man, duh, Amanda. Oh my gosh. I'm off the top with it, non-stop with it. I'm on that Liam Neeson shit. So, Luis Ortiz team breaks their silence. I made a video about it. You know, people hitting the dislike button, hitting the like button. None of that shit matters. This paycheck still spend the same. Y'all can go cry and hit them like. I could turn the shit off if I wanted to. But guess what? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. None of that shit affects what we do it over here. Listen, I must be the greatest. New media is on dead ass. Once again, something else that I predicted. Your boy Ego. Y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn this year. We on you. Once again, something else I told you didn't happen. So let's break it down. I told you it's not Luis Ortiz's responsibility to just take whatever because another person that they chose over Luis Ortiz decided to fail a drug test with EPO, HGH, WD-40, R2D2, C3PO. That's not nobody's fault that he had that in his system. And then you motherfuckers. All right. You really think he's just gonna listen? You guys know shit all about business. Joshua DAZN and Eddie Hearn, they're in the pickle. They're in the pickle jar. They are the ones in the pickle. So you got to pay like you weigh. You have to rectify the situation. This ain't Luis Ortiz. He don't lose. How's he lose? How's he lose? You got to fix the situation. And then if you ain't paying like you weigh and you want him to have half a camp, and then I don't blame him. I don't blame him for not taking. So he said he would have took the fight. He was down to fight Joshua, but the reason they cited was they were lowballed. So you expect a guy to take a short camp, you know, just got out of another fight, come in and save somebody else's event and do it for low money? Y'all must be crazy. Once again, new media predicted this. The fight wouldn't push through. It wouldn't make it over the line. Let's see what AJ decides. Let's see what Eddie Hearn decides. You know, it's this doesn't make sense. Why would you expect? And then you got fools running around. Y'all can hit the dislike button. That's great. You ain't fucking with what we doing. You got people running around saying Luis Ortiz ducked. Bitch, where? How you duck when you weren't even the opponent? Because he didn't choose to sub in Gerald Miller, who failed a drug test, when they could have selected Luis Ortiz. You know, they could pick all these seleckies and shit, but they couldn't seleckie fucking Luis Ortiz from the gate. If they would have did that, that would have been the event. So, yeah, got me fucked up. So once again, Luis Ortiz is ducking because he doesn't step in for low money. Probably a bullshit deal, last minute. You know, answer this. If you guys are, if you're complaining about being lowballed, then that means negotiations are stretching. The longer the negotiations stretch and you can't agree on the money, right? You can't agree on the money, then that's less and less time for you to adequately prepare for just a fight, because you don't even know if you're going to be. So who's going to get deep off in camp, start sending out sparring partners and all this bullshit for their camp to start training for Joshua, and you're still in negotiations? You motherfuckers are stupid. That's just what it is. A lot of you guys doing all this extra shit are stupid. If you're still in negotiations, why would you send out for, you know, Martin Bucoli, fly him in from the UK, Dave Allen, and get people from California, and then, you know, bring him out to Florida where he trains, and you ain't even past negotiations? So guess what? This is up to Eddie Hearns and Anthony Joshua to make a reasonable offer. You know, like the Godfather said, I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. You didn't make him an offer he can't refuse. He was still in negotiation. Ain't nobody's gonna start going to Trader Joe's and getting all the lean meats, flying in sparring partners, having sparring partners travel where they have to pay them and give them some place to stay typically, and do all this bullshit, and you don't even know if you're going to be fighting that person. Especially when you're not Conor McGregor, Floyd, AJ, Canelo, you know, where your money is probably like super long, where you could, you know, you could have a fucked up camp and send people home, and you know, you're not, man, it's not reality. That's not a reality. So if they ain't made it past to the point where they're signing on the dotted line in a reasonable time, then I don't blame AJ, because I don't blame Luis Ortiz. The longer you take with negotiations, the shorter time he has to prepare. So it's just not enough time. That's why if they would have listened to what I said and picked Luis Ortiz from the beginning, all this stuff could have been resolved beforehand, and then the fighters could have had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-week camps, because Ortiz was selected from the beginning. So, you know, a lot of people from the UK, we see the energy. A lot of other coons and other people, they're going to tell you Luis Ortiz is ducked. How he ducked when he wasn't even scheduled to fight him? You know, so let me get this straight. Willie Monroe fails a drug test in December for the Charlo fight. If Matt Korobov says they're offering me some bullshit and I'm not fighting a guy like Charlo with little time to prepare for his style for shit money, then that means Matt Korobov ducked Charlo. You guys sound foolish, and you know it. That sounds horrific. So it then becomes someone else's problem to fix your problem, and if they don't fix your problem, see, this is that British UK entitlement that I was talking about, because I see a lot of the energies coming from the UK. This is that entitlement bullshit. This is your problem. You selected Miller. Eddie Hearn's on tape saying DAZN and MSG were in agreement, and they picked Miller over Luis Ortiz. So now, because Luis Ortiz doesn't just go for the okie doke, and he's probably being promised a Wilder rematch, or, you know, a Joe Joyce fight on the back end, you know, if you don't end up getting the AJ, hey, we got you, you're gonna get another big fight because you're doing your thing, and you'll have full time to prepare for them and all that, and you're gonna get compensated properly, all that good stuff. And y'all trying to blame someone else. Block Craniacs. Block them. Shooters, block this man ASAPolis. His name is Craniacs. Block him. If you the Craniac, then I'm a Brainiac, because you got some stupid ass, fake ass verified thing, and we don't know you. You a op. That's why. Get him out of here. He a narc. I smell a rat. Anyway, it now is Louis. They're trying to paint this picture, even though I told you that this wasn't going to happen next. They're trying to paint a picture that Luis Ortiz ducks. So once again, block Amanda. We're done with you. I don't care what you're saying. I'm not reading that. Look at whose channel. Man, I don't care about no Craniac, bro. What's a Craniac? What? Man, what the hell is this? I don't know, cuz. I don't know who this is. What, cuz they got 120,000 subs? Bro, I don't care. Anybody can't get it. What that got to do with me? I don't know no goddamn Craniacs, bro. I just went to their page. What's that mean? I don't care if it's PewDiePie, motherfucking Logan Paul. Bro, I don't know. You looking suspicious. I don't like these. He had a. Actually, I guess they didn't have to get blocked. I was wondering why they had the check mark, but I guess I never seen somebody with a verified page like me, so I thought they had some like cheat code. So my bad, Craniacs or whatever. They didn't really do nothing, to be honest. Shout out to the Craniacs. Go subscribe. Sorry, shout out to the Craniac. No, because I thought it was like a narc or something. He said, "Wait, why?" My bad to the Craniacs. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I don't know. They had the check mark like me, so I'm like, but I guess it's because they have a popular page, and that's why it's in gray. I thought they, I thought they had a cheat code or something. Sorry, Craney. Players fuck up too. Anyway, back to this boxing. Now it becomes, smash the like button for Ego making some mistakes and admitting it. I admit my mistake. Listen, Craniacs didn't do nothing wrong. I jumped the gun. I just seen that they had a verified check mark like me, and it was gray, and I ain't never seen somebody, because normally the people don't have verified pages. So I thought they were like, I thought there was some, you know how you could buy blue check marks on Instagram and shit. I thought someone was like that, but I guess they have a popular channel. Shout to them Craniacs. My bad. Anyway, they the Craniacs, then I'm the motherfucking Brainiac. I let my brain react. Oh my gosh, y'all better stop. I'm on. I got my, look. That's how you know it's real. I got the iced coffee black. We got the iced coffee black. I need all the sauce. I need all the caffeine. I told him to put EPO and all types of shit. R2D2 in my shit. I'm going in. I'm destroying old media. I promise you. I said, yeah, man, put some of that G14 classified in my shit. I said, make my shit black, but put some of that G14 classified in my shit, because I'm going ham on y'all. The black coffee. Why would people drink black coffee? The black channel. Shout out to the Craniac. Why would he block the Craniac? The Craniac. Listen. YouTube recommended the live stream. YouTube is doing its job, so I came to see what it's about. I said, I'm sorry, Craniacs. I didn't know, because we get a lot of people on certain subjects. Yes, this is about boxing, but I forgot YouTube gave a check mark recently. See, that's what I'm saying. I thought someone had purchased a check mark. But yeah, shout out to the Craniacs. Go subscribe to their channel. I'll check you out after this. Yes, we talk boxing, and we have a little bit of fun here. So, anyway, Luis Ortiz, you're on live. He said, look, us two on live streams, always big trolls. See? The bigger you get, it comes with the territory. But shout out to you guys for grinding. I didn't mean to block you. I thought you were somebody like, somebody trolling. Sorry to make it weird. Keep going. It's all good. Shout out to the Craniacs. Go check them out. See what their page is about. You like and subscribe to them. So, Luis Ortiz, why would he just take any terms? Like I said, Luis Ortiz could have been the person from the beginning. No one, till this day, nobody has answered why Gerald Miller was selected over Luis Ortiz. They want to graze over that. They want to graze over that part and skip over that, and then accuse Luis Ortiz of ducking and saying, hey, Luis Ortiz, he's ducking. He wouldn't have nothing to duck if he was selected from the beginning. What don't people understand? So, like I said, if you can't even agree on the monetary aspect, which is usually a big part because this is people's livelihoods and they want to get properly compensated, right? If you can't even agree on that, then why would you start training intently like you would need to for a guy like Joshua, for all his belts, get sparring? So you're going to get low-level local sparring? You can't fly people in and get the camp arranged that you want because you don't know if you're going to get the fight. And then if you think your team is going to be able to pull the trigger, get the fight done or whatever, and then the money's not right, then you have to send sparring partners home and you just pay them for nothing? Stop it. It doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense for anybody to do that. That's like I don't pack for fights that I know I'm not going to cover it. I'm not, this is not like standby. I'm not a doctor on call. You get what I'm saying? Where I'm just going to be on standby and, especially if I had to actually purchase stuff for a video project. That's why when I was doing the directing, doing music videos, they got to pay a deposit. If you want to move into an apartment, you got to pay a deposit. You know why? Because they're going to keep that deposit if you waste their time. So at least they got something for wasting their time. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, when I was doing music videos and stuff, you have to pay a deposit. You waste my time, then I get to keep the deposit at least. Ain't nobody going to facilitate sparring partners, start, filling up the refrigerator with the type of diet and food. People think because you're a heavyweight, you don't have to eat right. That's not true. Luis Ortiz ain't just going to Five Guys and, eating crazy, because you don't want to be in there not at optimal levels, because you eating shit with gluten and all types of stuff like that. So that's not the reality of it. How you because you don't step up in like a deal, how are you ducking in that situation? Once again, they want you to conform, just like Bob Arum in the PBC thing with Errol Spence. Eddie Hearn and AJ, they're losing power and they're not in the position to dictate everything. So if you really wanted to fight Luis Ortiz and he said he's down to fight you and he's not agreeing on the money, then it's your responsibility to make him an offer he can't refuse, like to satisfy him monetarily. They clearly don't want to do that. They clearly don't want the fight. They don't want to pay nobody. Why? So Luis Ortiz is willing to do the 5-week camp. He's willing to fight Joshua. He's been calling out Joshua. And they can't agree on money. And AJ needs somebody to save his event, a rightful candidate to be opposite, to fill out seats and, appease the customer. And they can't agree on money. Listen, you guys can let people bamboozle you if you want. I got some great points. Make sure you guys smash the like button, and I promise you, if I do a hot seat, they will not make it out. I feel too good. I feel too sharp. Floyd Mayweather, this shit. I'm Floyd. I'm in the pretty boy Floyd, Money Mayweather era. Like, it's everything's clicking, all cylinders. Ortiz said in the past he would fight for $5. You're in the hot seat. You can't spell the word dollars. Strike one. Dollars is not with the E, it's with the A. Strike one. Strike two, who gives a shit about petty things like that? Lomachenko said he would fight Gervonta Davis for free. Never happened. Do you think Lomachenko versus Davis happens for free? What do you mean, nope? That's a question. You're in the hot seat. Lomachenko just recently made a interview that we all know and all heard about. He said he would fight Gervonta Tank Davis for free. Do you believe that that's going to get done? Do you think Top Rank right now is hitting up Gervonta Tank Davis saying, hey, we'll offer you this much money. Lomachenko forfeited his whole purse. We want to make the fight with you next. You're in the hot seat. You have 10 seconds because we are not wasting any time. Moving the goalpost. Block him. Refuse to answer the question. We have no time for it. You don't even know what moving the... First of all, you couldn't spell dollars. Then you don't even know the phrase you're saying, moving the goalpost. I asked you a question. You said I'm moving the goalpost. You see, their quotes and phrases don't even make... You know what I'm saying? It's not... The proverbs and shit you guys are using don't even make sense. I asked you a question. Oh, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? You just saying random proverbs and shit. African proverbs and shit. What does that have to do? I'm like, hey man, what time is it? What goes around comes around. What does that have to do with it? You just saying stuff. Motherfucker talking about moving the goalpost. What does that have to do? What goalpost? I asked you a question. How do I move a goalpost by asking a question? Oh my gosh. Floyd Mayweather this shit. You know? I'm like, hey man, you got any kids? Yeah. You give them an inch, they take a mile. Like, what does that mean, bro? What does that mean to me? I asked you if you had kids. You say you give them an inch, they take a mile. What? I asked you if you had kids. This is a yes or no question, motherfucker. But okay, you know, I told you the intelligence level, my mental dexterity is beyond these dudes. These dudes are too emotional. They'll never be greater. They'll never conquer new media. Anywho, it's not Luis Ortiz's job to fill in. How's he ducking because he didn't have the proper time to train? Once again, Why wasn't he chosen ahead of Gerald Miller? Then on my video, like I said, people were making up stuff. Shout out to Houston, H-Town, get down. Then people were saying he got offered $5 million. Luis Ortiz's team is saying he was offered lowball offers verbally or whatever, but they were never sent an official contract anyway. So where did this $5 million figure come? Once again, this is what old media does. They make up stuff. If they don't have the proper data, they don't have any sources to cite, they make up stuff. Where did you get $5 million from? They said Luis Ortiz was offered, in my last video, you guys could go look through the comments. Some dude said Luis Ortiz is ducking because he was offered $5 million and he didn't take it. Where did you even get that figure from? I didn't hear anything about $5 million. Once again, they won't cite their sources. They'll just tell you this is the reality. Where do we get $5 million? Beyond that, I have another issue with that. Luis Ortiz has fought for a championship title against Deontay Wilder. He's fought better names like Bryant Jennings, right? Than Gerald Miller. So how is it that allegedly, with no proof, mind you, but even using your logic, Luis Ortiz was offered $5 million, even though there's no tangible proof that I've seen, right? Why would Gerald Miller, he was already quoted as getting more money, because when it came out he failed a drug test, they were like, man, he was going to get north of $6, $7, $8 million. So why would you offer Miller more money than you're offering Luis Ortiz? And Ortiz has a better resume, he's done more, and he's at least challenged for a title. So Luis Ortiz is accurate. Even using your bullshit logic, then they're lowballing. How can you offer somebody who's done more less? Doesn't make sense. So even when they lie and make up things like this $5 million alleged dollars that we don't know if that's true, even that, still you're a failure. Because why would Luis Ortiz be getting offered anything less than Gerald Miller? Less. You're offering him less and he's done more. So yeah, then that corroborates what Luis Ortiz's team is saying. The reality is this. Hold on, I gotta get the beer right. Hold on. We gotta get right. Okay. Okay. So, anyway, why would Luis Ortiz get offered less? I think I got this from CVS, or it might have been Amazon. Wild Willie's Beer Co. This shit good though. It's light. Wild Willie's. I think it's on Amazon. I got it. So anyway, we just getting started. First of all, how y'all let new media do this to you? Damn, homie. Everybody listening. How does new media keep getting it right? I told you Anthony Joshua wasn't fighting Luis Ortiz next. Again. And it happened again. I told you Dillian White wasn't fighting Luis Ortiz next. Again. And it happened again. Bro, how do I keep getting it right? See, this is the true reason why they're trying to spread this, propaganda and stuff, because they know old media, they're clinging to life at this point. They are dying, so they're grasping at straws. They're looking to try to graffiti up the comment sections because they know I keep getting it right. This new media shit, I keep getting it right, bro. I just told you he wasn't fighting Luis Ortiz. How is it that I'm one mortal person just like anybody else, and I keep calling it, and then it's right? Meanwhile, they say, oh yeah, Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, Della Ruiz, and they saying all these people are gonna get it, and then it turns out to not be them. How do I keep getting it right? It doesn't make sense. So obviously, old media, they losing because they never accurately depict what's going to truly happen. The people they accuse of ducking, it's shown that someone else is ducking. The people they accuse of being on PEDs aren't failing drug tests, and then somebody else out the woodwork will fail a drug test, a PED test. They say, oh, this person's down to fight this person. I say, no, he's not. He ain't fighting him next, and then I get it right. So they know they're losing. This is why they saying all this wild stuff. Now I'll talk about Bud Crawford more on the back end, but I got to talk about this heavyweight stuff. They know it. Andy Ruiz can scrap, but that would be a good save. That'd be a good save to me. But anyway, this is what they're angry of. Ortiz should get AJ's house in the contract. AJ, I'll fight you for your house, bitch. Hey, you wildin', dog. I keep getting it right, and then this is what's making them mad because they know, like, what everybody I told you, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, old media, man fans, they play dumb in boxing. I've been telling you this all along, just like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford aren't fighting next, and I've been telling you this. So when Spence, his next fight gets announced, mark my words, shout out to YSM Sports Media, $1 super chat, really appreciate you. When Errol Spence, his next fight, presumably with Sean Porter, when it gets announced, people are going to be, oh, Errol's ducking, oh, why is he not fighting Terrence Crawford? And this has been in the works, and I've been telling you it's not going to happen. But once again, they have nothing to clutch on, so what they try to do is try to act shocked and surprised. I told you Luis Ortiz wasn't going to be fighting Dillian White next. I was right. I said that multiple times now. For whatever reason, it's not happening. I told you Luis Ortiz wasn't fighting AJ, even in lieu of Gerald Miller failing the drug test. Now it's been confirmed by Luis Ortiz's team that, sorry guys, we're not in the race anymore. I keep getting it right. This is what's making them mad because they know that. They know it, and they're like, now they try to act surprised when I've been, how are you surprised when I've been telling you? I've been telling you he wasn't fighting him next. So when Luis Ortiz's team comes out and officially announces, hey, we out the race, they try to lowball us, we tried to make the fight. They act shocked. What are you shocked for? I've been telling you this. I've been telling you how it's going to. Ego Stradamus, I told y'all. That's all they could do is play dumb and act like, oh, Luis Ortiz is ducking. This ain't new news that the fight wasn't gonna happen. I told you it wasn't gonna happen next under these circumstances. Shout out to Will Bug, real talk. He said you could smell the desperation with old media and some of these promoters. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying. That's why bro, I'll show you the video. I did the same stuff I'm talking about right now. I said on the video with Luis Ortiz. They try to blow up the dislike button. I get paid regardless. I don't care about that. Look, I got in 1 hour. I'm gonna show y'all. In 1 hour, and see, you don't understand. That helps me. It pushes the video. In 1 hour, we got 792 views already. Look at the dislike button. This is the same topic. Luis Ortiz not fighting. All I was doing was, reading what they said. 66 likes, 34 dislikes. Luis Ortiz and team. That's all they can do. That's what I'm telling you. New media, we strong. This is all they can do is try to rush and leave crazy comments or hit the dislike button. They know their time is up. It's exposed. Old media is a dying breed. I told y'all. Ardmore, $2 super chat. Really appreciate you. Let's get those likes up. Ego, keep bringing the heat. You know that. I got y'all. Easy work. Once again, you don't see 34 credible arguments in this live stream. I told you, every time they do that, I'm going to go on the live stream because this is what I do, and we're going to see. I should be getting bodied at least 34 times because they dislike they hit the dislike button. So you think I'm wrong, or what Luis Ortiz's team is saying is wrong? So step up. Let's do the hot seat. Let's talk about it intelligently. We don't have to do a bunch of name calling and stuff. Let's talk about it. We stick together in this new fact-based channel. That's what I'm saying. That's why I told y'all gotta hit the like button on all these videos, because they get discouraged with that. Take the extra 2 seconds to hit the like button. I don't really care about it, me personally. But what they try to do is overpower the message, suppress the message, hope it doesn't get out. They don't realize that hitting this like button shows engagement on a channel with authority like mine. It just shows engagement, so it doesn't stop my videos from growing. But that's what they're trying to do. So we, as Ego's Army, we gotta stand up and stand up for what's right. That's why I tell you guys in the live streams and my videos, if I'm spitting that real, y'all gotta take the extra. Don't just comment. I don't care about the comment first. Hit the like button first. We gonna discourage, and we bleeding all these motherfuckers out. We gonna drown all these motherfuckers. I promise you that. So y'all gotta listen to my leadership, listen to what we're saying, and let's get it cracking, because we're trying to put that boa constrictor on their neck. We squeezing the life out of them. And I need y'all to help in that regard, because we're not going to let them even have moments of, just like what Errol Spence did to Mikey Garcia, we don't want them to have any level of leg to stand on. They're going to have to stand on their own too. Ryan Clark, shout out to you, $4 super chat. Death Row East, Ego's Army, please stand up. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They said don't start a war unless I got my money right. You see the super chats. Well, I got my money right, now I want war. We are really making change in this game, because they're not talking about anything. They're not saying anything of note, anything relevant. How you gonna say Luis Ortiz is ducking, or anyone is ducking, as if it's his, that's an entitled attitude, as if it's his job to save a card that was already in place. So fuck what PBC plans were for him, fuck what he's doing with his family, fuck all that. He needs to step up and take this opportunity, even though they can't agree on money, even though he doesn't like the money being offered, even though he doesn't have the full amount of time he normally would have to prepare. Bump all that. He needs to take it or he's ducking. That's not how that works. We're not going to ever accept that. They hot because they know new media just keeps getting stronger. They know what we said was right. They know that inevitable was going to happen. And they know that AJ's event is still in limbo. They know AJ's event, that they're trying to help save, is suffering with the actions of Gerald Miller, with the, some of the things Eddie Hearn has said that has created maybe some tension with Al Heyman and PBC. They know this. They know this. And now they're lashing out. We got them where we want them. We got old media and the man fans where we want them. So let's just keep getting it popping. I'll put him in a hot seat. Hold on. Listen, you're Eric Rosas. I'm pretty sure Ortiz's highest reported payday was Wilder, and it was $500K. So let's say he made some back end money, like $1 million. That's $1.5 million. Trust me. All right, you're in the hot seat. You just said it. Luis Ortiz reported amount of money. Let's just say he got $1 million on the back end. That is not fact. That is you guessing. That is you speculating. That is you reading something. No. There is no. He said I tried to post. Strike one. He said I tried to post the link. You're posting. How you posting a link on something you just made up? You said, let's say he got some back end money. There ain't no link for that. You a hot link and you on the grill. So let me know, where'd you even get this? You're going off of something that was reported. You're going off of something reported, because something's reported don't make it true. You said, let's just say he got an extra million. There ain't no let's just say to it. You don't know what you're talking about. You just made a million up. Where'd you get the let's just say the back end was $1 million? You're up. Come on, Eric. You got to do something, champ. Again, pocket watching. These dudes have no knowledge of business or anything. That's why they're in the hot seat. So you don't think Luis Ortiz and Camp and team have the wherewithal to know what a good deal is, know life-changing money that'll fix things, and his daughter's sick, and look for, help for medical research and stuff like that? You don't think that they have the wherewithal to decide, hey, this is money we can't pass up or not? So he said, I tried to post a link. How can you post a link to something you just made up? Let's just say he got $1 million on the back end. We not let's just saying anything. He was reported to make 500. Reported. There's a lot of things that were reported. Juicy Smollett reported that he got beat up by MAGA hat wearing motherfuckers. So what you talking about, bro? You can't fuck with me. Juicy Smollett, Juicy, whatever his name, he reported that white people jumped him with MAGA hats on and stomped him to the ground. So what you talking about a report? I don't give a fuck about no report. We gonna report you to the hot seat. That's the only report I care about. You keep talking about, man, Jesse, Juicy, I don't know what his name, I don't know who he be, I don't know who you lost to. Juicy, he reported that he got jumped. And then there was some actors or some shit. What you talking about a report? Once again, you backpedaling. You said $1 million. You said $1 million. Let's say he got $1 million on the back end. Where'd you get that figure from? You have 10 seconds because you're wasting my time. I know you can't beat me. But I know Ortiz was offered well over $500K, whatever back end he made. So you backtracking. That's what's up. I just used a number as an example. Exactly. So he lost. You lost. You just made up that you made up something. You should have been through the towel. Get him out of here. Sorry, Eric. Try again. I just made up a random number. Exactly. Get him out of here. So you just admitted it. You should have did that from the beginning. You should have waved the white flag, and I wouldn't have to have my shooters block you. I told you, I'm destroying anything old media. I will destroy anything you touch. Death Row East. So, once again, I got him to concede, and we got him up out of here. He admitted that he could have made up $2, $3, $4 million. He just randomly guessed $1 million extra. That's not no type of fact. People saying, oh, Luis Ortiz duck, he was offered $5 million. Who said that? Because according to Luis Ortiz team, they not saying that. They said they never even got an official contract. Told y'all. Once again, new media, we handling it the real way. We trying to go with all the information and the factual information that we know. Not say, oh, let's just say, what if? They making up stuff. But like I said, I'm sure Ortiz's team has the wherewithal to determine what is a solid deal or a deal that they can't pass up, that they'd be willing to fight with the 5-week camp or less, That's it. Like, okay, put it this way. If they were being offered game-changing money, then why wouldn't he take it? If they felt compensated fairly, why wouldn't he take it? Like, if they, see, and this is what I told you, these companies, they trying to offer Klitschko $120 million, $80 million. That's like 20-something million a pop. Offer that to Luis Ortiz and see he don't take it. See, Tyson Fury, they say he gonna get $108 million for a couple fights. Klitschko, he gonna get, so they not paying like they weigh, and these fighters are getting smarter. That's what's wrong. That's what they not understanding. So Klitschko coming off of 2 losses, DAZN can offer him, a reported $80 million, $100 million, $120 million. 80, I think it was 80 for 3 fights. They can offer him that type money. They can offer him that type money. Block killer wolf. Block killer. We gonna kill your wolf. Block killer wolf. So that's what's making like Bob Arum with the Crawford Spence situation, Eddie Hearn, they're getting mad because they're going at Al Heyman and they're losing power in a lot of the regards. You get what I'm saying? So the fighters are getting smarter. The fighters ain't just going for the okie doke anymore, and it's created a rift. Al Heyman is advising this is why they're getting mad, because back in the day, Don King and all these other promoters and shit, they could just rip your head off, and there ain't nobody for it. Al Heyman came in not acting as a promoter, acting as an advisor, and he's advising the guys to get their own promotional company. He's teaching them the business. He's giving them opportunity. He's putting them in front of cameras and giving them every opportunity. Broner has had every opportunity to, become a pay-per-view star. Nobody can deny it. Okay, Broner has the vehicle. He's rapping on his way out and walking out with Kendrick. He's dancing. He's selling the show. They've given Broner several opportunities, whether he lost or won, to, be the next Floyd Mayweather. He got Pacquiao on pay-per-view. He fought Khabib Alikverdiyev off of a loss to Sean Porter. He got the Porter fight. He fought Mikey Garcia. He fought Marcos Maidana on the main event in San Antonio. So he had every opportunity to, to be the next Floyd or whatever. It's either going to work or it's not. And see, this is the thing where new media really starts to switch gears on them. Pop, clutch, switch gears on you. We pop, clutch, switch gears on you, nigga. Like Nipsey said, bro. It's no secret. Okay, so peep this. Peep the play. Listen, y'all got to get these likes up. We about to kick the science. If y'all want me to kick the science, smash the like button. I told you, we can't. We not letting them. We drowning them out. If y'all want me to kick the science, can I get a hell yeah and smash the like button? Block Sports Fan 1. Too many people complain about him. Block him. I don't even know what he said, but block him. Block Sports Fan 1. We don't care. Go to old media. They gonna cater to you with whatever you talking about. All right, peep. This is how old media, like I said, they play dumb. You know when the motherfucker's cheating on his girlfriend, and then she has solid evidence, like he left his phone on the counter, unlocked, and drove to work or started driving to work and said, oh shit, I left my phone, my girl's there, and he knows he been cheating, and he walk in the door hoping his phone hasn't been touched by his girl, but his nosy ass girlfriend is like, who the fuck is Jasmine? Who is Jasmine? And she waving the phone like this, and you know you cheating with a girl named Jasmine. And he's like, oh, what? Jasmine? Oh. The jig is up. You left your phone unlocked. Your live-in nosy-ass girlfriend clearly looked at it. She's waving violently your phone, talking about who the fuck is Jasmine? Who the fuck is Jasmine? Who the fuck is Jasmine? Rolling her neck and shit. And you know you're cheating with the girl named Jasmine on your old lady. The jig is up. But you're playing dumb. Oh, what, Jasmine? And they say she just a friend. And they say she just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. Like, the jig is up. You're a cheater. She caught your stupid ass. You and Jasmine is busted. This is what old media does. What? Who's Jasmine? What do you mean? What? Oh, that's just a coworker. The coworker sending you ass pictures. What job is this? I need this job. She's sending you hand bra pictures and shit. What the fuck job you got, motherfucker? Ain't nobody had, just playing dumb. Oh, that's my coworker. We just friends, baby. We baby, please. She's sending you pictures in a bathroom and opening robes and shit, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. Anyway, this is how old media play. Oh, what? Who's Jasmine? I don't know. So, let me break it down to you. At what point does it become probably a reality where people are all complaining about the same thing? Wilder was one of the first people that talked to Team Eddie Hearns and said they lowballed me. And the world knew about it because 12.5, I told you from the jump. I'm like, well, 12.5 for a mega fight, no pay-per-view? That sounds crazy. You know, $15 million offer. Wilder been telling you this. Wilder. Then a rematch room fighter, Dillian White, was supposed to fight AJ. What did he complain about? Being lowballed. He said, oh, yeah, I got more money for Derek Chisora 2 than they were trying to put up for the Joshua fight, the Joshua rematch. How can I make more for Derek Chisora 2 than Anthony Joshua 2 and he got all them belts? And that's a risk, and I'm taking a risk, and it's a title shot. Dillian White. Now you have Luis Ortiz saying the same thing, and you want me to believe that everybody happens to be lying, and Team AJ is just saints in this, and everyone's just trying to dirty up their name. And we knew Wilder's offers, actual offers. Y'all getting slaughtered. I'll be back. I'm gonna take a quick break. I need to refill my drink. Yeah. Anyway, we right back on top. Let me touch it back on what I was saying. So, a lot of fans like to play dumb on old media. He got blocked while y'all. He was saying stupid shit. He just said Luis Ortiz is on pads, that's why he's not taking. Once again, let them do this stuff. This makes new media look better and old media look worse. Because all they do is a bunch of speculation and about a lot of lip and saying random stuff. You know, all of a sudden they VADA experts and shit. You know, they know what's going on, but didn't predict that the Gerald Miller fight was finna get fucked up. But, you know, they just speculating, and let them do it. It just makes us look greater. Shout out to my dude, Cheetah Head. Shout out to Cleveland in the building. But anyway, let's continue. Smash the like button. Smash the like button, people. We're going to talk about it. So, the bottom line is this. At what point does new media keep getting it right where you be like, oh, okay, they keep predicting this outcome. Maybe they know something. At what point do the fighters keep telling you what's happening? Different fighters, different camp. Like Wilder and Luis Ortiz are both on PBC now. But Luis Ortiz, they're not friends like that. They fought. And they fought violently. You get what I'm saying? Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder, it's not like Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott, guys who are known friends. Luis Ortiz has no allegiance to Wilder, even though they're on PBC. Beyond all of that, PBC wasn't always the home for Luis Ortiz. You know? Luis Ortiz was with Golden Boy. He was with Matchroom for a few fights. And now he's with Al Heyman. So why would he just be praising and their team is saying Al Heyman ain't never gave us no weak-ass offers like this, right? So he was with Golden Boy and he was with Eddie Hearn in Rematch Room, and now he's with PBC. So why is he just now saying this about PBC? Just because he's with them now? Why is Wilder saying what Luis Ortiz is saying? Why is, okay, two PBC guys, whatever. Why is Dillian White, who's with Eddie Hearn, who already fought AJ, why is he saying he was lowballed? It doesn't make sense. Wilder said the deal didn't happen. He wants 50-50. He was willing to take low money, and they still found a way out. They lowballed him. Wilder said that. Then Dillian White said he got lowballed and got more money for Derek Chisora. And then now Luis Ortiz's team is saying the same thing. And you want me to believe that everybody has some reason to gang up and lie on Eddie Hearns and Joshua. This, that old media shit. You got different people in different spaces who really have no tie. Wilder's not buddy-buddy with Dillian White. Wilder's not buddy-buddy with Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz and Dillian White ain't chums and, proper friends and all this stuff. So why is everyone saying that they were lowballed? Doesn't make sense, right? I'll tell you something else that don't make sense if y'all smash the like button. If y'all want to know something else that don't make sense, can I get a hell yeah? Hey, shooters, I need y'all to police the comment section because it's getting kind of wild. Everybody comment down a touch, even Eagles Army people. Let old media say the dumb shit and stop arguing with them so my shooters know who to get and put in the crosshairs. Please do. I'll tell you something else. Aside from Wilder, Dillian White, and Luis Ortiz all saying they were offered peanuts, right? Let me tell you something else that doesn't make sense. Eddie Hearn came in raving about DAZN, bragging about DAZN, saying they had the biggest budget in boxing, saying they had $1 billion per year or something crazy, right? We got the most money. Nobody's touching us. How come they can't pull the trigger on these fights, and these fights are breaking up over money? You guys have to understand business. You guys have to listen to what's being said, listen to what was said in another situation, put the two together and answer for yourself and apply the logic and tell me if that makes sense. Eddie Hearns, DAZN, said we got the biggest budget in boxing. The biggest. Wilder turned down an offer from DAZN. Fact. No top PBC guy who has mouthpiece and charm and charisma and all that went over there. Broner, Charlos, Jared Hurd, Mikey Garcia, Adrian Broner, Errol Spence Jr. None of them went over, right? And people, not just PBC fighters, but also people like Dillian White have said they've been lowballed. So, make that make sense. Especially when we see that DAZN has not. Name one DAZN fight that was bigger than Mayweather versus Canelo, which wasn't even Mayweather's biggest fight. Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya, which wasn't even Mayweather's biggest fight. Name one fight that level. So you could even make the argument if they had big events in the boxing department, if they had these big events that, you know, were hogging up the budget. We haven't even watched Canelo Jacobs yet. So how does he have $1 billion and the most money in boxing, but fights are falling apart before they get over the line over money? Dillian White's not happy with the money. Luis Ortiz is not happy with the money. Wilder's not happy with the money. Wilder's not happy with the 3-fight DAZN deal. So somebody explain that. Logically and intelligently explain that. You have more money than anyone in the boxing game, but fighters keep going to PBC, like Andy Ruiz, right, who left Top Rank, got out of his contract some way, like Rigondeaux, you know, got out of his contract and went over to PBC and made it happen, you know. They're picking up people like the Joey Spencers, right? Luis Ortiz got picked up. And Eddie Hearns saying he has the biggest budget in boxing. Then why are the fights falling apart without putting in any real big events? Why are the fights falling apart over money? Something's wrong with that picture. And I want an intelligent answer. Probably why Canelo took the money with DAZN. He got $300 million. Yeah, but they said he had $1 billion. I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but you should have 700 million more. You know, you have $1 billion. If you have $1 billion, where the rest of it? Because you haven't put on like huge events. So it doesn't make sense. How you have the biggest budget in boxing, but these fights keep falling apart? Like, and this is the other thing people don't understand. You're in a time crunch. You have a June 1st. Joshua's not at fault. Eddie Hearns not at fault. Rematch room's not at fault. Gerald Miller fucked up and failed a drug test. Cool. But it's still Eddie Hearns. This is what you get paid the big bucks for. Eddie Hearns, it's still his responsibility to provide for the venue, to provide for DAZN, and provide for his fighter, Anthony Joshua, and save the event. Like, I was a salary manager at Lowe's. I always tell you guys this, you know, because I worked there for a while. I was a salary manager. You know, some days and weeks were light, and so I'm getting paid a salary, and, you know, I wasn't having to do nothing crazy. But then there would be some times where, you know, somebody slipped and fell in the building, and then that gets more complicated because, you know, now they're claiming, trying to sue and stuff. So this is what I was getting paid the big bucks for, to handle and facilitate these big problems and diffuse them. And like, oh, I had carpet installed, or I had a fridge, and then they ruined my flooring because the delivery drivers like scraped the refrigerator and dropped the refrigerator and broke our flooring. I had to figure out these things. So same thing with Eddie Hearn. Yeah, making fights, that's run-of-the-mill shit. But when something big like Gerald Big Baby Miller fails a drug test, and you have 3 people looking at you, MSG, DAZN, and Anthony Joshua, and then 4 really because the fans, then that's what you get paid the big bucks for. You got to figure out, the best last minute replacement. All promoters go through that. Charlo lost his opponent, Willie Monroe, to failed drug test. Gervonta just lost his February opponent to a damaged eye, detached retina. And then they had to figure it out, right? It happens. Wilder thought he was about to fight against Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury shocked everyone, went over to ESPN. This type of shit happens, right? So it's Eddie Hearn's responsibility to fix it. It's not his responsibility to. The commission will have to deal with Gerald Miller in terms of the infraction of the drug test, but it's Eddie Hearn's immediate problem to fix it. So how can he get the fight over the line that the fans want, like Luis Ortiz? You got the biggest budget in boxing per you. That's what you're saying, but you can't get the fight over the line. Luis Ortiz is not happy with the pay. How can't you make it happen? Make something happen with the biggest budget. It doesn't make sense. How come Charlo and Tony Harrison are rematching each other? Tony Harrison could be like, oh, I'm the champ now. I want the fight in Detroit, which I don't think the fight will be in Detroit. So how is it that Al Heyman and his crew are facilitating and the shit's getting done, to the point where the fight's happening and these, potential negotiating problems aren't really meeting the surface? We don't really hear about it. Mikey Garcia was moving up 2 weight classes. Spence was moving, or, he was fighting Mikey. No one had a problem. Like, Mikey didn't have a problem going to AT&T Stadium. He clearly didn't have a problem with the pay, because if he had a problem with the pay, why did he take the fight? So, somehow, some way, Al Heyman is pulling triggers, getting fights over the line. Right? Because he made Mikey Garcia and team who did listen to what I'm saying. This is how I know we're destroying them. Just listen. Robert Garcia and his pops did not want Mikey to initially fight Errol Spence anytime soon. Mikey wanted it. Errol Spence don't give a fuck, so he like, yeah, man down. Al Heyman and the team, 2 teams, negotiated to make that happen. So somehow, some way, Team Garcia was offered the fight with Spence that Mikey wanted, and they obviously felt the level of comfortability in what they were getting to see Mikey Garcia, which they didn't originally want him to fight Errol Spence, his trainer. They didn't want him to move up and fight Errol. Al Heyman got the fight across the line. Somehow, some way. Somehow, some way he did it. And Mikey didn't work, I didn't hear no thing like, oh, I was down to fight Errol Spence, but, they were offering me peanuts because the fight already happened. So obviously he was at least content enough to make the fight. But when it comes to Eddie Hearn, he says he has the even bigger budget, and they haven't put on any big fights like Mikey Garcia and Spence, Broner, and Pacquiao. They ain't putting nothing on like that. Right? And Luis Ortiz like, nah, man, for what's being asked of me, I'm not taking that money. You lowballing me. You on some bullshit. So it's Eddie Hearn and DAZN, it's their obligation to get these fights across the line. Why can't he do that? I don't get what the hang up is when you have the biggest budget. If you had to pay Luis Ortiz an ungodly amount, and then just do it then. You're willing to give Klitschko money that realistically, Luis Ortiz AJ is bigger than Klitschko and AJ rematch. It's bigger than Klitschko versus a tune-up. So this is what I'm saying. Everything goes through new media. Remember I said that. Everything goes through new media. They're going to start paying attention to the American dollar and what American fight fans. I promise you that. Luis Ortiz has a name in America. He fought our American champion, and he got a lot of respect even in defeat. Joshua versus Luis Ortiz would be a big fight. I've been pushing for the fight. I've been wanting to see the fight, right? Now all of a sudden all these people coming out the woodwork who were denouncing and denying and saying Luis Ortiz wasn't worthy of a Joshua fight. Now they try to act like they wanted the Luis Ortiz AJ fight. It's fake. It's funny. And then, like I said, how you gonna pay Triple G? This is clearly a problem with them and the way they're dispersing the money. You're going to pay Triple G a reported $15-18 million to fight Steve Rolls. Give Luis Ortiz $18 million to fight Joshua and see if he don't take that. New media across the belly. I prove you lost already. Man, we hitting him with that ether. It doesn't make sense. So you're willing to give Triple G more money to fight Steve Rolls in an event that nobody's really checking for, that I've seen. It looked dry at the media at the press conference. You want to give him $15-18 million reportedly for that fight, but you can't get Luis Ortiz in the ring. He said he's down to fight, but we're being lowballed. So you know something's awry. There's something not adding up. You got the biggest budget in boxing per Eddie Hearns. So either the money you don't have, the money you say you have, or whatever. Because here's an example. I ain't never met a motherfucker that said Floyd Mayweather was broke. I ain't never met someone that said, oh, Floyd he be on the gram. He ain't really got it like that. I know tons of fighters that used to be with Floyd that are no longer with Floyd. I know people that are still with Floyd that they've been with Floyd. I know new people with Floyd. Ain't never met anybody who said Floyd really don't got it like that. He don't have money like that. You know why? Because it's very apparent and it's very known. I went to Floyd Mayweather's daughter's 16th birthday party. You can add the first 16 birthday parties I had in my whole life together, and it wasn't as vast and big and expensive. So from my parents, from when I was age 1 to 16, every party that they've had for me, none of them would have combined equaled more money than Floyd Mayweather paid out for his daughter Money Yaya's 16th birthday. I was there. They had everything catered. They had Future and Drake performing. This shit was lit. It was like a concert and shit. They had like Jamie Foxx and the singer Tank and LeBron James and all these people on this big jumbotron screen giving Money Yaya birthday wishes. It was epic. So Floyd say he got money and ain't nobody disputing it. Nobody's disputing that he got it like that. You get what I'm saying? DAZN saying they got $1 billion. Eddie Hearns saying they got $1 billion, but they can't. Fights is breaking up over money. That doesn't make sense. How are your fights breaking up over people feeling uncomfortable and lowballed if you got the biggest budget in boxing? Either you got the biggest budget and you're being cheap and you're not offering fair amounts, or you not got the money, you don't have the money you say you have, or something is not right with that picture. Like I said, ain't nobody I ever met in this game said Floyd Mayweather don't got. Look, he throwing money right now. Easy work. He throwing money on the screen. Perfect timing. Sid Brown, $2 super chat. Is Canelo 36.5 of the $1 billion? I don't know, bro. You have to ask them. I don't know. I don't know their I'm not an auditor. See, Cheetah, my dude Cheetah said they either lying, scared, or both. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. Something is not adding up, no matter how you slice it. Dillian White, AJ broke up over money. Wilder versus Joshua broke up over money. Luis Ortiz, they're saying it broke up over money. That doesn't make sense when you have the most money in the game and you haven't put on a big event. Somebody's lying somewhere. Something is awry, something is fishy, something is not adding up there. Like I said, Floyd say he got money. You ain't never had Floyd have a party, a Halloween party, Money Yaya's 16th birthday, and motherfucker said the party was what it wasn't, it was a cheap party. Name somebody that went to a Floyd's 80s, 90s retro parties and shit like that for Halloween and said he didn't spend no money. It don't make sense. Name somebody that went to a Diddy all white party in the Hamptons and said Diddy he had some cheap hors d'oeuvres and he didn't really spend no money on this. You could tell by the venue that's rented out or the house or mansion or whatever that he got money. It's a big event. You see Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, and Lauren London, and everybody dressed in white, and you see The Game and French Montana at a P. Diddy party. You don't see people saying, oh, Diddy got all this money here on the Forbes list, and then when he does have a major get-together, like an all-white party, it's on a yacht or some shit. So you know he got money. DAZN keeps saying they got all this money, but the fights is breaking up over money. That doesn't add up to me. Well, yeah, Floyd, he's extreme too. He said Floyd bought an $18 million watch. Fact, that's what I'm saying, bro. Man, I got an Apple Watch. That's all I need. I got an Apple Watch from Australia. That's all I need. Them dude bought an $18 million watch that can't read and tell the time and shit, bro. Whatever. So, yeah, you know Floyd got it like that. So y'all can play dumb and all this stuff. You're making yourself look worse. A celebrity is at your party, you lit. DAZN ain't lit. That's what I'm saying, bro. There ain't nobody that I've ever seen. I know Diddy's barber. Shout out to Kurt. He cuts Usher. He's cutting him exclusively and Diddy exclusively. You know, I don't know what their situation is now, but back then he was. And, you know, he's an OG in the game. He has his own product line. And I know people that was going to the parties, they were saying it was lit. Diddy's party was lit. He's an A-list celebrity with money. He's not saying, oh, I'm on the Forbes list. You know, that's like saying Dr. Dre's on the Forbes list, right? Let's say he's worth $1 billion, almost $1 billion or over $1 billion. And then you go to Dre's studio and it looked cheap. I guarantee you Dre's studio, his personal home studio, has all the expensive equipment, expensive ass microphones, dope, you know, ambiance, feng shui, and all that. Ain't nobody talking about Dr. Dre's studio is this shit light. He's a billionaire. You know, you're a billionaire. What else? You a billionaire musician and producer. What the fuck? Of course you gonna have the dopest equipment. DAZN keeps saying they got $1 billion, but you can't make a fight. You can't get it over the line. Something is not adding up. You cannot get Luis Ortiz and AJ in the ring. So either you don't want it, you're penny pinching, you don't want it and you're penny pinching, you know, a combination like my dude Cheetah Head just said. Something is not adding up. And you could have all these guys who run around and say whatever, but they're not telling me how that makes sense. You can offer Wilder $100 million. He doesn't take it, but Luis Ortiz is being lowballed. So if you really want him, Wilder was going to get $100 and then $100 million or whatever the fuck it was. Wilder was going to get $100 million for 3 fights, right? And didn't take it. That's like 33 million. That's like 33 and change million per, like, because 3 times 3 is 9. So that's like 33 million each fight. You know, just if you just divide by it. Offer Luis Ortiz 33 million. It's not like he took the fight. Offer him 33 million for Joshua for the inconvenience of not having a full camp. See, I told you I'm destroying. He said, why you keep repeating yourself? They don't want to hear it because they know I'm right. You notice they're not saying anything. That's why I said let them hit the dislike and let them say stupid stuff, but they won't come head up against these arguments I'm making. That tells you everything you need to know. So Wilder didn't take the 100 mil, and you saved $100 million. Klitschko, to my knowledge, he's not officially signed. He didn't take the 108 mil. Offer 30 million to Luis Ortiz. If you have money to throw around like that to Klitschko and Wilder, who haven't publicly taken your offer, then that means you saved 200 mil right there. So to get one fight done and make it lit at Madison Square Garden, give Luis Ortiz 30 mil for the inconvenience, for not picking him the first time, for only having a minimal time to prepare for a title fight, because this could be it. If he loses to Joshua at age 40, you know how hard it is to get title shots, especially when you have a style like Luis Ortiz, because he's a great boxer, gets on his toes, can bring the fight forward. He's a southpaw, so he got to make this his best attempt at a title, because you don't know when another title shot's going to come. So give him 30 mil. So if it doesn't pan out, now he's set for life. But they ain't going to do that because they don't want the fight. And then the dumb man fans are going to just run around and say, oh, Ego told him to pay 30 mil. It's not about 30 mil, but I'm saying get him something that you saved 200 mil by not officially signing Klitschko and Wilder. And then Luis Ortiz would have been a great option for AJ, but if the fight fell apart at the money, that doesn't make sense. So you need, I don't care if it's 30 mil, if it's 20 mil, if it's 25 mil, whatever gets Luis Ortiz in the ring under these pressured circumstances, why wouldn't you do it? So you don't want to. You don't want to risk your cash cow like that. DAZN disrespecting Andre. Facts. That's what I'm saying. These companies are going to learn today. America's where it's at. You got to start showing love to American champions, period. And guys with names in America. You're willing to pay Triple G 15, 18 mil, 20 mil, whatever for Steve Rolls. But Demetrius Andrade get a little funky-ass hometown fight for probably a couple mil or two. But you could throw all this money at Golovkin, who ain't even doing English interviews right now because he mad because he lost because Canelo walked him down Mexican style and beat him at his own Mexican style. This is insane, people. I think Andy Ruiz Jr. is a good fighter. Me personally, I think that would be, out of the names listed, because we know it's not Luis Ortiz, that'll be the next best option for them. I would prefer that over Michael Hunter, because Andy Ruiz, see, some of y'all don't watch Andy Ruiz. I watched his career. People looking at his shape and shit, he's actually fast, but if you don't know him, then you won't know that. I mean, he's short. He'll be up against it, but, you know, he got a chin from what I've seen, so that could be a good fight. I'm not mad at it, but I don't know, you know, because he might not like the money. He might not like the money, but I do like a fight that's better to me because it will be under more fair terms and rightful terms, proper time to prepare. Adam Kaunowski versus Andy Ruiz Jr. and then the winner gets Wilder. I like that actually better. But for DAZN's sake, because they're in a crunch, it's not a bad fight. You know, that out of all the names listed, since we know Luis Ortiz ain't it per his team, that would be Andy Ruiz would be the next best thing to me. I would prefer that even over Michael Hunter. I'd rather see Hunter instead of Ruiz, just for the reason Hunter is more fresh because Ruiz just fought. Yeah, but Ruiz, he got rounds in and stopped this guy. So I don't know how he's more fresh, but whatever. Yeah, I want to see Adam Kaunowski versus Ruiz, but you know, if DAZN could get it done, that'd be cool. Andy Ruiz. Shout out to Big Time, $5 super chat. Man, we just continue to grow. It is what it is. Ego, ain't nobody paying for DAZN for that fight. I never said it was a big fight, like big blockbuster fight, but I'm just saying for me as a boxing fan, I know boxing. I'm not a casual. So I know boxing. So for me, that would be out of the names that they've given that haven't already turned it down, you know, or announced that they're not going to be next, like Dillian White, Adam Kaunowski, Luis Ortiz now. Andy Ruiz seems like the best candidate. I didn't say people are going to pay for it and it's going to bump up their subscriber rate or they're not going to get refund. I didn't say none of that. I'm just saying for me, that sounds like the best option in terms of the guys I heard. Man, we've been killing. You see how they, and then the other thing is like the casual shit. Oh, Luis Ortiz is how you ducking a man that you was never even scheduled to fight, and then that same man could have fought you. That same man could have fought you. No, you see how they refuse to answer that question. Yeah, I like Andy Ruiz. He could scrap. You see how they refuse to answer the question. They want me to just skip and skim past it. Why, if you're such an advocate for Luis Ortiz getting a shot, then why, when I was pushing for Luis Ortiz to get a shot with AJ and recommending and saying how that's a great fight, why weren't they here to back me up? Now that Luis Ortiz would have a half-ass camp and don't even like the lowball money, now they're trying to act like they was with it. Stop it. These dudes sound crazy. These dudes sound crazy. If you're that big of an advocate for Luis Ortiz getting a shot, then guess what? You should have been pushing for the fight like I was. But they weren't. They weren't on the front line with me. You wasn't in the gym shooting with me. So that once again, notice how I keep predicting it. How do I just answer that? Just answer something that I'm asking. How do I keep predicting something is gonna happen and then it keeps happening? What does that show you? These guys are becoming more and more predictable and less it's just becoming more flagrant. You get what I'm saying? It's too predictable. How do I keep getting it right? Luis Ortiz ain't gonna be the next. No, oh yeah, he might. Eddie Hearn said it, and then it don't happen. When will my streak end? In all this shit I'm saying, I told you Dillian White wasn't gonna fight him again. Told you Anthony Joshua wasn't gonna get the fight next again, and it just both these things got proven, back to back, like Drake. So you guys let me know what's fair. How many things do I have to get right constantly? I told you Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford is not happening next. So how many things do I have to get right in a row before you guys give new media credit? Christina Ventura, $2 super chat. We appreciate you. They trying to bullshit the bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just keep calling this shit before it happens. Way before it happens, I'm on the front line telling you what's going to happen. So how many things do I have to get right? Is it 6, 7, 10, 20? How many things do I have to get right? That's all I need to know. I'm not answering nobody's question until y'all answer one of mine. How many things do I have to continually get right, predict in this game in a short space of time for you guys to just bow down and say, okay, new media, maybe they know what they're talking about. Maybe he goes on to something. How many times? I told you before the Gerald Miller fight, Luis Ortiz wasn't going to get a shot. I told you the Joshua Wilder fight wasn't going to happen. Then I told you it wasn't going to happen after the Povetkin fight. I told you Dillian White wasn't going to fight him despite the WBC ordering him not next. And then he fought Derek Chisora. I told you Dillian White's next opponent wouldn't be Luis Ortiz. How many things do I have to get right? That's all I need to know. So I can know, like I can set a goal. Because I keep telling you the same stuff. Everyone, oh, you're lying. Oh, Eddie Hearn said Luis Ortiz. Oh. And it doesn't happen. The bottom line is this. You can play the blame game, all this bullshit. But Eddie Hearn, Joshua, DAZN, Madison Square Garden, they're in the situation. And it's Eddie Hearn and Team Joshua and Eddie's team, or Joshua's team, it's their job to get these fights across the line. They, or he and Barry Hearn, they're the promoters. It is their job to rectify. And like, okay, Wilder's been through this. Luis Ortiz failed a drug test. Everything was kind of questionable, and the WBC said he can't fight. We gotta have a hearing. Al Heyman came up and said, hey, fight your mandatory, Bermain Stavern. And then we'll give Dominic Breazeale, who was supposed to fight Bermain Stavern for a mandatory position, an eliminator, we'll just give him Eric Molina and make that for the mandatory. That's why Wilder's now his mandatory is Dominic Breazeale. Because Breazeale was supposed to get an opportunity to fight against Stavern, but then when Luis Ortiz failed a drug test, he was out the picture for November. I went to that fight. And then they elevated Stavern to the main event with Wilder. This shit happens. and the event was saved. That was Wilder's one of his craziest knockouts, seeing that it was in the first round, and it was a guy who previously had went the decision with them. And then Al Heyman, they saved that event, made it do what it did. Wilder it went viral with that knockout, and then the rest is history. You know? Same thing with Tank. Abner Wilder's pulled out. Tank came out to Michael Jackson. They did the best they could do. You know, Tank had an explosive first-round knockout, broke Hugo Ruiz's nose, showed he's a threat. Now he moves on. He's fighting in Baltimore in the summer, right? Charlo, his opponent, Hugo Centeno Jr., got injured. That was supposed to be on the Wilder card with Luis Ortiz. It got pushed off. They put him on the Broner Vargas card. Then, you know, he fought Hugo Centeno, knocked him out quick. That was the end of that. Willie Monroe failed a drug test ahead of the Charlo fight. They replaced it with someone else who was on the card, Matt Korobov. It was a tough fight. Charlo got past it. Now he's doing a hometown fight versus Brandon Adams. So the bottom line is, it's the promoter's job and the team's job to fix the event and say it's not Luis Ortiz, his job specifically, to take whatever because he said he wanted to fight Joshua. So he just got to take any type of deal because he's called out Joshua. So under unfair terms, under pressure, little time to prepare, he just got to take whatever. I ain't doing no impressions. I'm not in an impression mood. I'm destroying old media. So, you know, because this is old media's logic. They think because Luis Ortiz has called out AJ and called him names and said he wants to fight him, he just got to take the fight and accept it for the opportunity, even if he's being lowballed. That's not how boxing works. For example, let's say he got offered, I'm just making up a number. And I tell you when I'm just making, and the only reason I'm making up this number is just because it doesn't matter. It's just an example. I'm not using it as fact. So let's say he got offered $5 million, right? And people felt that Luis Ortiz beat Joshua, but it goes to decision. And because Joshua is the rematch room fighter in DAZN cash cow, the judges give the fight to what's her name? Now, even if it's fair or not, Luis Ortiz at age 40 will have another L on his record, and it was unfair. And now he had $5 million. So now people are going to use that against him. They're going to use that against him based on his style and say, yo, Luis Ortiz just lost to Joshua. He just lost to Joshua. Why should I fight him next? Like Joe Joyce or somebody. You get me? Like, why would Joe Joyce fight Luis Ortiz, who just lost again? Even if it was controversial, you know how people play. People play dumb, and, you know, I'm not fighting him. So you got to make it count. And at the very least, I'm glad Luis Ortiz is not taking the fight if they don't feel like they were getting compensated properly. Because if they were getting compensated properly, you at least have that. Like if DAZN say, hey, fuck it, we need you. It's a big fight. It's a big opportunity. Here's $25 million. Even if he loses, at least he's taken care of. You get what I'm saying? And he can, you know, continue fighting, but we don't know when he'll get another title shot. But these fighters are getting smarter and smarter. They're getting smarter and smarter. So they're like, nah, you're not finna just use me, give me half a camp while Joshua is training and angry at Gerald Miller. He just did a video yesterday talking about, oh yeah, Miller, I want to crack his jaw. It's mad, I want to crack his jaw, but it's not my thing to hit a man when he's down. It's mad, I want to crack his jaw, right? He just told you that. So he's angrily training, trying to make good on his promises. Luis Ortiz gets a half a camp, doesn't even like the offer, doesn't like the money, and in that, if he loses by knockout, if he lost an unfair decision, it doesn't matter. People will use that against him. They'll say, oh, you had 2 chances at a title and you came up short. End of story. Now he's going to have a hard time with his style getting more fights. But if you keep winning, they can't deny you. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Pay the man a crazy amount, so if he does get robbed or some shit, or if he loses, then at least he's set, because he's doing y'all a favor by helping y'all event. Or fight him under fair terms, you know, a full camp and stuff like that. But they want once again, the fighters that they're pulling for, they want them to have every single possible advantage. Full training camps, and then a person, because Joshua's allegedly this huge star, bigger than, anyone's ever heard of or seen, and they want everyone to just give in and succumb. Like, oh, it's Joshua. He's not Floyd Mayweather. See, Floyd's different. Floyd looked unbeatable, and he was unbeatable for 22 years. Joshua don't look unbeatable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's easy to beat him, but he don't look like Floyd. So Floyd actually merited, if you get the Floyd opportunity, because you're definitely going in the history books. If you are the first person to beat Floyd Mayweather, you will go in the history books based on the defense of Floyd, the overall skill set, etc. You're going in the history books. Joshua hasn't proven to be like Floyd Mayweather, like, oh, he's impenetrable, the May Vinci Code and all that. So you got to make everything make sense. Everything got to align and make sense, period. You guys can say whatever you want, but that's the end result. So, yeah, I can understand people in a rush to fight Pacquiao or Mayweather, because these are definite Hall of Famers no matter what, at the point where these people were getting offered. So, yeah, of course Maidana's going to fight Floyd, because if he's the first to knock out Floyd, then he's revered as a legend forever. No questions about it, because we've seen Floyd at a high level, elite level for 22 years. Conor McGregor, of course he's going to fight him, because he's getting a lot of money and he has a chance at history for real. So people not just going to bow down. Joshua, just any offer you send me, I'm willing to take it. That's stupid. And you know damn well, okay, put it this way. Let's say Joshua wasn't training right now. Dominic Brazil pulled out. Would Joshua jump in the ring with 5 weeks to prepare to fight Wilder? Honestly. Who believes that? Who believes that if Wilder was scheduled to fight Dominic Brazil and Joshua wasn't training for a fight or just had fought somebody, that Joshua would have risked it all with 5-week training camp to prepare for Wilder? Who believes that? Exactly. The bottom line is, the thing that you guys are having to learn the hard way, Luis Ortiz is a top 4 heavyweight. He's a top 4 heavyweight. So you're not going to chump him. He's not no fucking, Manuel Char or like Butterbean or somebody like where you could just serve him any type of platter and he just needs it so he has to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's not that. Luis Ortiz is a top 4 heavyweight with the actual options. He could Adam Kanowski and Luis Ortiz. I would love that fight. Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz. I would love that fight. Wilder versus Luis Ortiz 2 or Brazil winner. I would love that fight. Joe Joyce. I would love that fight. They've talked about that. Right? F.A. Ajagba and Luis Ortiz at some point. I would love that fight. He has options. So, once again, the more options. See, this is the thing. And I told you all the time, I'm the king of analogies. Y'all just got to get that understood. If you have options, that determines how you respond to certain situations. Like, let's say I have a lot of women that would like to date me. That affords me the opportunity to be selective. If I got dimes and, women with good jobs and women with great bodies and just different women that are interested in me, I have choices. I can then decide, like, oh, yeah, she looks cool, but her teeth is fucked up, because I have options. I don't have to be with Snaggletooth Sally because I have options. But if you don't get no pussy, then guess what? You might deal with the Snaggletooth Sally. If everything else looks good or to your liking, you might deal with the fact that her teeth is throwing up gang signs and shit. That her teeth is is I keep my khakis creased with you might deal with that. But if you Trey Songz, you side of the bed, which one of y'all? If you Trey Songz, you don't have to deal with that. Why would you deal with that? Well, you got options. That's Trigger. Trigger. Okay, are you thirsty? One you Trigger, you Trey. You don't. Wow, you don't have to do. You The Rock. You Michael B. Jordan. Whoever bitches like. You think Michael B. Jordan is just finna settle? Like, oh yeah, this bitch look cool, but she crazy. He don't have to do it. He don't have to put up with that. He Michael B. Jordan, motherfucker in Creed and shit. He got money. He don't have to do that. But you bum ass dudes in the comment section going against new media, y'all gotta just deal with that. So if she has, you know, a leaky asshole and she has flatulence and she's farting everywhere, you gotta just smell that and just deal with it, because that's the level of woman that you can get or attract. But that don't mean it's the same thing for, you know, Trey Songz or Michael B. Jordan, Channing Tatum, or whoever women like, David Beckham, whoever, Brad Pitt. They got options. Their options ain't your options. Period. So the more options you have, you don't have to just settle. Someone could throw you some bullshit. It's like, I tell you, this is, yeah, I said a leaky asshole. Man, y'all know these analogies is true. That's why y'all laughing. Listen. This is my recommendation, and I've said this before. Anytime if I'm not happy at my job, I make sure I'm on good terms with my existing job, and behind the scenes, I put in work, prepare my resume, and don't say nothing to nobody, and I put in applications. In the past, this is my job now, so fuck a 9-to-5. But in the past, I would have a job, have good standings with that job, because I don't believe in burning bridges with that job. And if I was like, oh, there's no chance to promote, or this new management sucks, or all these changes are stupid, then I would prepare my resume behind the scenes and I start applying for places. But the benefit of having a job while you're looking for a job, the benefit is this: you don't have to just settle, because you know, worst case scenario, I'm already integrated into this job. It works. I'm getting paid cool. So if this interview don't work out, or this particular job, they're not trying to offer me more money or whatever, I don't have to take it. So that's one of my pieces of advice for anybody in the workforce. Don't just quit your job and then you have bills and shit and your rent's due, and now you're gonna have to be you at a time crunch. See, a lot of people get in situations where they get fired, or you know, they try to do the unemployment thing. That's different, because that puts you at a deficit, because now it's do or die. You know, it's do or die. If you don't have a job and you need money, your car note's due, you got to pay a mortgage or a rent to a landlord, or you owe your parents some money, whatever the situation is, you have nothing. So yeah, you're going to just take whatever, you know, fucking Costco's pizza, we needed pizza spinners. You'll probably take that if that's where you're at in life. You know, if Taco Bell is, you know, hiring, that might not be your preferred job, but hey, you got to work there. Walmart, Big Lots, you're going to just have to work wherever. So that's the reality, and that's the benefit of having options. If you have options, then you don't have to, like Luis Ortiz, like Deontay Wilder. You dummies are like, oh yeah, Luis Ortiz, he's stupid, he's an opportunity. You know, oh, Wilder should have took the $100 million for the zone. Why did he take the $100 million? Because he has fucking options, and he's growing big regardless of what Eddie Hearn or Barry Hearn or Barry Manilow, Barry White, any of these motherfuckers say. He's growing big, and if he just keeps doing what he's doing, then guess what? He's winning, and that money ain't going nowhere. If anything, it'll grow. So don't let people back you into a corner. Hey, Costco's pizza is hidden. I don't want to work there. That should be chaotic. Hella customers were passing you receipts and shit. Can I get some crushed peppers? You know what I'm saying? So that's the benefit. I'm trying to tell. See, listen, This is what happens, like my life. And I'm not saying this to brag. My life is this. I worked hard to get in the position that I am to speak, so I don't have to work for someone else, so I can work for myself, so I can wake up and do as I please. Guess what? I have options. I don't have to cover every single fight, and I'm not going anywhere. My views don't suffer. My paychecks don't suffer. If anything, I make more money when I don't travel because I don't have to spend money, right? That's options. So I can speak freely. I have full creative control, and I don't have to worry about it. So I don't have to be like, oh, shit, I got to cover this Danny Garcia versus Granados fight. Oh, I must cover Crawford versus Khan. Because guess what? I have options. I don't have to be there and cover it. I try to cover fights for you guys and as much, but my channel is, I worked different than people. So I'm at a point where I don't have to be at the actual fight. Some of these other channels, right, don't have options. So if they stop putting exclusive interviews or work, and this is to each his own. I'm not knocking how anybody gets it. But if other channels stop posting weigh-in videos or interviews or press conferences, their views are going to suffer dramatically. I have options. I don't have to cover a fight again. I could keep doing this. Look, I'm getting paid off of this right now. Not everyone can just get on here, hit record, and be talking for 2 hours and get super chats and get paid. That's the reality of it. I worked with the fans. This is my personal situation. So work for your purpose and work to the point where you have options. The more options you have, the less people can threaten you, less people can power play you, less people can control you, because you now have options. Like, they can't threaten me with no credential because I don't need a credential. I'll cover anybody's event, but nobody can dangle no carrot over my head. Oh, yeah, you want this fucking credential, then shut the fuck up. That's not how it works. So once again, work hard enough to the point where you have options. The more options you have, Wilder and Luis Ortiz are aligned with PBC. They have the most options in the heavyweight division. Not saying Fury's not with ESPN. Not saying Joshua's not with DAZN and Dillian White's with DAZN, you know. But overall, there's more options with PBC in that division and other division. But since we're talking about heavyweight, so if you listen, control your options. Nobody can control you. The more options you have, the less people can control you. You get it? So Luis Ortiz, he knows he could get other fight. He don't have to just come crawl. See, when he was with Golden Boy or Matchroom, he might have took whatever. He might have. You know why? Because he just, with Luis Ortiz, when he was with Matchroom, Rematchroom, he was fighting Dave Allen and Malik Scott, right? So he didn't really see the promised land. So he might have just took whatever, little camp or no camp, 1 week camp. He might have just took it. But now he's in the house with Al Heyman, and they have a good amount of people he can fight. So he don't have to just spring up. He just made money when the Wilder fight. So he's probably a little bit comfortable. He made money on Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter card. He made money. He's fighting Edislandi Lara. These other promoters, a lot of them didn't even have him fighting regularly. So once again, if you control your options, no one can control you. Always remember that. That's why what I do here, I am fully self-sufficient. Ain't nobody bought. This is why every piece of equipment that I have, every little thing, every little gadget, every I bought this. Nobody can say, oh, give me this back, or see me reach a level of success and then take it from me. That's not how that worked, because I purchased it. I don't need handouts. I don't want handouts for this very reason, because ain't nobody gonna power play me. I control my options. Whether I have to work longer and harder to get in that space, I control the options. Same thing with, I've been offered affiliate brand deals since I started. Not since I started, but for years. I just recently did 2, for the last couple of years, the Box Fan Expo, I work with them, and ESPN Plus. DAZN reached out to me to promote the app. I have the email if people don't believe. But what they were offering didn't make sense for my brand, for my business. So guess what I did? I passed it up. It was nothing personal. It's always business. It's never nothing personal. But what DAZN was offering me, right, was not, it wasn't like what we'll put it that way. It wasn't the ESPN offer. So I chose, that's what happens when you have options. I chose what would be the best, would align best with my brand. I know ESPN, the company. I've followed them. I've seen the content. So I have options. That's just like Devin Haney. He has options. PBC wants him. DAZN wants him. All these people want him. Triple G had options. He fought Canelo. PBC, ESPN, and DAZN wanted him. He chose who he wanted to go with. And that's what old media frets about. They know these guys have options. Like I told you, same thing with Bob Arum and Errol Spence and Crawford. Crawford doesn't have many options of lucrative star-making fights that are in-house, and PBC has a ton of them for Errol Spence. Block Richard Burns. We about to burn you at the stake, little witch. Block Richard Burns. I'll continue once he's gone. I don't want him to be able to hear what I'm saying. Block Richard Burns. I have options. I don't have to continue until he's gone. Thank you. He's gone. So, once again, control your options. They can never control you. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. God bless the dead. Neighborhood Nip. Same thing. He hustled the independent way. Hustled the Hova way. That's why they follow my lead. They think I know the way. They think I know the way. He did it independent. He started making more money, started bubbling. That's why motherfuckers hated. Tried to take him out the game. Did take him out the game. You know what I'm saying? Because he was building. He didn't need. He said, I made a mill on my own. He said, I did this I made a mill on my own. I don't need y'all help. He told you. It's the same thing. Same hustle. Master P, E40. Listen, Master P made his name. He's from Louisiana. Shout out to them. He made his name in the Bay. Richmond. Had a record shop in Richmond. E40. E40 in the click. From the Bay. Nipsey from California. We some California hustlers. Y'all just got to understand that. We find and make our own lanes. Hustle the Hova way. They tend to follow my lead. They think I know the way. Right? We doing this our way. That's why new media is getting so strong. We doing it our way. We doing it how we want to do it. And that's not, no one can stop that. No one can stop that. So like I said, control your options. You can't be controlled. Nipsey Hussle don't have to worry about when he was alive, he didn't have to worry about a record label trying to jerk him. Because he knows what he can do on an independent scale and be comfortable, give back to his community and everything else. So he didn't, but these young cats who are just trying to get out the projects, they'll sign whatever deal. They'll sign 360 deals with the label because they don't even know. They don't know and don't, they don't know no better. They just want to get out the hood. So they just sign bullshit deals with the labels. We not doing that. And that's what's happening, and you're seeing that pendulum shift in boxing. Just like I said, Bob Arum, he's sweating Al Heyman and saying this and that, and he knows he don't have that many options for Crawford that he doesn't have similar options to what Errol Spence has, put it that way. to build him into a bigger star. Crawford's a star in his own right based on his skill, but he don't have the names that will help elevate. He didn't even keep Pacquiao. Even if he had Pacquiao, he could keep dangling the Pacquiao carrot and you know, making the fans believe that Crawford and Pacquiao would someday fight. Pacquiao over there with Al Heyman. This is the changing of the guards in regards to the power. Same thing with DAZN. DAZN came in and said, "Oh, we got $1 billion, blah blah blah," but you can't get no fights over the line. You know what I'm saying? You can't, or not no fights, but you can't get the biggest fights over the line, like Joshua Luis Ortiz. That's the best possible replacement. People could say whatever they want. You did not, as a promoter, you did not pacify, satisfy, and get Luis Ortiz and AJ in the ring and get the fight over the line. End of story. Now, Al Heyman, let's see if he gets Keith Thurman and Pacquiao, Danny Garcia and Pacquiao, Sean Porter and Errol Spence over the line. Because he got Broner Pacquiao over the line. Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes. That got over the line to fight Errol Spence, right? Caleb Plant got a title shot and became a champion, beating Jose Uzcategui. These fights are getting over the line. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if he could try to make Andy Ruiz, Adam Kanowski. I think that's a good fight. Let's see if he can get something like that over the line. They talking about Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz by the year's end. Let's see if he can get that done. You know? Al Heyman's bottom line is people is listening. Tony Harrison and Charlo, there could be a huge standoff. You know, Tony Harrison could be like, "Fuck that, I'm champion. We fighting in Detroit." But for whatever reason, these fighters are trusting Al Heyman's lead, and they're agreeing to this shit. Brandon Adams felt the need. He liked whatever PBC offered to fight Charlo, and DAZN offered him something, and he took the Charlo route. PBC is getting shit over the line. You can say whatever you want. Block Michael Ross. You just saying stupid shit that nobody cares about. Block Michael Ross. I told you. This is the other thing. Like my channel. Look at how many people get blocked for the ignorance. I have options. Some people couldn't block this many people because they wouldn't be making no money. They already don't make no money on YouTube. And they want all the people to watch their videos that they can. Once again, you guys see, ego hustle. Hustle the whole way. They tend to follow my lead. They think I know the way. I don't even show an ID at my bank. Listen. Block Michael Ross. Get him out of here. See, that's what I'm saying. I can afford to block all these motherfuckers with these troll accounts. Other people can't, because if they would be blocking views, I don't need that. I don't need the bunch of old media trolling. He's talking about lies. Get out all the little things you can say before my shooters come. Shooters, Michael Ross, need to go. He's saying I'm lies, but he won't tell me. Fools, y'all just gonna let him go in on me, okay? He won't explain what I'm lying about. We don't need you, and you're gonna see when the shooters come back. You're gonna see we don't need you. Wait, Michael Ross, your time is coming. You might be able to get a few off. My shooter's on lunch break or some shit. It don't matter. Hold on, how's my dude Bakari not a shooter? Hey, Kari, you in. Oh shit, I hit him on accident. See, god damn it, look what you made me do. You made me hide my boy. My boy Kari, he's a writer for the website. See, you fucked me up. I meant to add him as a shooter. My bad, you made me hide my own boy. See, y'all fucked up. I accidentally hit my friend. Hey, y'all fucked me up. How is AJ gonna say he ain't going to kick a dude when he's down and throw shots at his mama? Facts. Hey, Kari, you a shooter now. I accidentally hit you because I hit the wrong button, bro. But you a shooter now. Hey, where's this Ross fool? I got it at Ross. You a department store, bro. You know, all my friends used to steal from Ross. They used to all steal from Ross. That's why they got the security guard waiting up front, because of my friends. We used to be out here wilding, stealing from Ross and shit, bro. That's why they got the guy when you walk in, hey, how you doing? Like, he right there waiting, because they know. We was like the wet bandits. Hey, Bakari, first mission, get Michael Ross out of here. Cursor or Bakari, get him out of there. So it said YNW Ego. I ain't got no bodies in the trunk. Hey, y'all wildin', bro. They said he facing the death penalty. That's bad. Get Michael Ross. Somebody get Michael Ross out of here. He trying to linger. You're a lingerer. You're a lingerer. He trying to linger in the chat, bro. He said, block that fool. TJ Maxx, where I'm from. Marshalls used to get it. Hey, you wildin', bro. Lil ego vert. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Hey, shooters, get my... Oh, thank you. My dude, Bakari. Give it up to my dude, Bakari. He just became a shooter. He caught his first body. Hit him with the 12-gauge shotty. With blows like a 12-gauge shotty. See, act snobby and snotty. My dude Bakari hit you with the 12-gauge shotty. Death Row East. Believe in it. So y'all can get mad at Luis Ortiz all you want and say he should have took it no matter what the terms were that we don't know. And even though they're saying they were lowballed, just like Dillian White said, just like Deontay Wilder said, Luis Ortiz's team is saying the same thing. But, you know, it's clearly not Anthony Joshua's fault. His team had nothing to do with it. But everyone keeps saying we're getting lowballed to face Joshua. Y'all believe that if y'all want. But it's a changing of the guard. They giving Bakari claps for clapping somebody. I love Ego's Army. We giving them claps for them clapping. Oh, the irony. The only place on the net where you get claps for other people getting clapped. Bars, let's get it. Yeah, man. It's happening too frequently. So we'll see what Eddie Hearns decides for Anthony Joshua next. Hopefully it's a big one, because DAZN, they need as many big fights, especially with Triple G versus Rolls on the horizon. They should be trying to get as many big fights on the calendar as they can. Again, it's the promoter's job. It's not Luis Ortiz's job to take whatever, despite wanting to fight Joshua. That don't mean he got... So, all right. Let's say you want to date a girl, and you've been pursuing this girl for a year. I'm the king of analogies. I got one for you. Smash the like button. Let's say you like this girl, and you've been pursuing her for a year, and she never really gave you the time of day. She never really gave you a rhythm. All of a sudden, her prom date gets arrested, and she don't have a prom date. Now she wants you as the prom date, right? That don't mean because you had a crush on her that you have to automatically go to prom with her, especially if the terms don't make sense. Like, she's like, oh, you got to buy my prom dress. So not only do I have little time to prepare, I got to flake on my own date that I was going to go with, but you want me to buy your prom dress too? This shit don't make sense. Luis Ortiz's team said we would have loved to take the opportunity, but Eddie Hearns jerking us and low balling us. You know, that is what it is. So just listen to the analogy and what old media is saying about Luis Ortiz. Oh, he ducked and shit. Put it in another situation and tell me that makes sense. So you pursued a girl for 2 years. She didn't give you the time of day. She was gonna go to the prom with fucking LaTroy. You know what I'm saying? She was gonna go to prom with him, and then LaTroy get knocked up. He get locked up or whatever. And then now her prom plans are ruined, And now she wants to reach out to you. Okay, no biggie. Maybe you're still open. She needs a prom date. But then you hear what she's talking about. And she's like, yeah, you got to pay for the limo and pay for the dress. Man, fuck you. That's what I would say. Oh, you want me to pay for I'll get you a corsage or some shit, bitch. But I'm not paying for your dress and the limo by myself, you know, or in general. I might could get you a corsage and shit. You know, we can get some bubbly. I'll pay for that. Even though I'm a little kid, I shouldn't be drinking bubbly, but I was drinking bubbly in high school and different various alcohols. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody finna do that. Ain't nobody finna. Oh yeah, and then so the people go say, "Oh, ego, you stupid, you ducked her." I ain't ducked her. First of all, she chose someone outside of me, and then when LaTroy got locked up, then all of a sudden, you know, now she wants me, but then there's stipulations and shit that I'm not good with. Hell no, bro. Y'all sound stupid saying that man Luis Ortiz is ducking when he could have been with the full camp, with the terms already established. He could have been the first choice. Eddie Hearn is already on tape saying that Madison Square Garden and DAZN picked against him. You guys are trapped. I know you want to be able to beat new media. I know this. But you can't. You guys suck. Look. Listen.
When we had a choice to fight in America, there were two options for us. Jarrell Miller and Luis Ortiz. We went to Madison Square Garden, we went to DAZN, and we said, who would you rather? They say Jarrell Miller. Right? We want an American, great, from Brooklyn, big mouth, great. So that's why. I feel sorry for him because I feel sorry for him because he's fighting. The people he's fighting are horrendous. Yeah, and he's number one fighter. No, but his value is going down. Even your guy, Dillian White. Dillian White, natural fighter. No, he didn't get offered him 2.6 million. Luis Ortiz fighting Christian Hammer and stinking the whole arena out. Who cares about Luis Ortiz? That's why they're doing a bad job for Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz's value after the Wilder fight is going to the floor.
I'm just gonna keep playing that clip. Eddie Hearn says we went to DAZN and MSG and offered Miller up for Joshua's debut in America or Luis Ortiz. And he said Madison Square Garden and DAZN picked Jarrell Miller, who would later fail a drug test. This is Team Joshua's fault because Eddie Hearn, see, old media can't do what we doing. Shout out to Town Business and Cali Enigma because they was the ones talking to Eddie Hearn. You can't win because you can't pull up receipts like this. Eddie Hearn, a week before Jarrell Miller failed a drug test, let the cat out the bag. According to him, Madison Square Garden and DAZN had the opportunity to fight Luis Ortiz to begin with or Jarrell Miller. And they said, we want a guy from Brooklyn. He's from New York. He has a big mouth. We want an American. We're picking Jarrell Miller. That's what we want Joshua to fight. So, once again, this is Team Joshua's fault. So, you can't say this ducking bullshit because late notice, he's not fighting him. Especially when he feels that the deal ain't even right. You guys sound stupid. Then, he was talking shit a week before Jarrell Miller failed a drug test saying, oh, Luis Ortiz, I feel sorry for him. The Christian Hammer, he stunk up the place. You know, Luis Ortiz's profile has gone. And now you want me to believe that Luis Ortiz is ducking. But Eddie Hearn had all that to say just a week before. DAZN, just like PBC, are more king. Man, I'm not listening to what you say, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. Next. Who next? Bro, PBC, out of all these promoters, have made fights and sent their people, since they have a vast stable, to other networks more than these other guys have sent their fighters to other networks. If you would like to argue that, since that's your standpoint, Antonio, please step up. Please step up. Antonio Matthews, do you want to pursue this in the hot seat, this dialogue? Argue how, since you brought up PBC in that same regard, tell me that PBC hasn't sent more non-mandatory, sent more fighters over to opposing networks than Top Rank has sent to PBC. Top Rank has sent to DAZN. DAZN has sent to PBC or Top Rank. Please step up. See, this ain't no package deal. If two people are doing the same thing, then we acknowledge it as such. But you just tried to do that old media tactic, and when DAZN is failing at a certain thing, you want to lump PBC in, and that's not how that works. This ain't a package deal. If PBC's guilty of it, then we call it like it is. But they're not doing it. They've sent more people than these other promoters. So what do you decide, Antonio? He said Antonio wants no smoke. They don't even have confidence in you. So, bro, do you want to argue what you were just saying? Do you want to argue that we can go line for line using factual fights that have happened and examples of people who weren't mandatories that fought on opposing networks? PBC sent this guy to HBO. PBC sent this guy to DAZN. Things like that. Versus DAZN sending fighters to HBO. Or DAZN sending a fighter to Top Rank and ESPN. You have 10 seconds to answer me. Otherwise, we're moving on. 9 seconds. 8 seconds. Antonio. 7 seconds. Do you want to pursue? Tell me the facts then. Do you want the hot seat? 6 seconds. Yes or no question. 5 seconds. You wrote that whole sentence, but you can't answer maximum of 3 letters. Yes or 2 letters. No. 5 seconds. Antonio, do you want the hot seat? 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Yes or no, Antonio? 2 seconds. Tell me the facts. Block them. You can keep putting tell me the facts, and I know you retyped it because the facts had all caps this time, but you can't tell me yes, maximum of 3 characters, or no, 2 characters. Block them. Thank you for playing, Antonio Matthews. All you had to do is say yes or no. He said he a mark. They don't want to smoke. I told y'all. So hit the dislike on your way out. That's the only thing you guys can do now. So shooters, have fun with Antonio Matthews. He bowed out in the way he bowed out. Boom. Ooh. I told you, we holding people to some type of standard. I'm not in the business of wasting my time, because time is money. If you want to debate this in the hot seat, because I already gave you a preview of what was coming. You know what I'm saying? All you had to do is say yes or no. When you said everything but that, we got to move on. Anywho. So, yeah, man. Eddie Hearn's on camera and on audio and video and candid camera. America's Funniest Home Videos. He's on GoPro. All the videos in the world saying, we picked Gerald Miller. We being DAZN in Madison Square Garden. And now, when it doesn't work out, the guy you picked, because he failed drug tests, nobody's fault but his, now it's Luis Ortiz is ducking. Unbelievable. But this is what old media has to do. This is what they have to do. They have to come out with these radical statements and shit that nobody believes. Still can't answer one of my basic points. Why was Luis Ortiz not selected to begin with? He would have had a full camp. You would have had proper time to prepare and negotiate to get a deal that works for both instead of being on a time crunch. Like I said, he only had like 6 weeks total, and you have to shave a week off of that because the 6th week would have been a Wednesday of fight week, so that doesn't really count. Beyond that, fighters have to pull back because they don't want to get injured in training camp. So he would have really had 5 weeks to prepare, and they can't even agree on the number. They can't, Luis Ortiz's team is saying we were lowballed. we're lowballed. So there's nobody that's going to start flying out sparring partners and getting in real life camp mode, right? And to the point of expenditures, and they don't even know if they're fighting the dude. It just doesn't make sense. And then if you can't like get the sparring partners that you want because you're on a time crunch, then how are you going to have the best camp you can have? What if you wanted to, there's a guy from the UK or some shit, Martin Bacoli or something, and he lives in the UK, and you were going to fly him out. Daniel Dubois, you were going to fly him out. You get what I'm saying? You were going to fly him out, and now you can't do that because you only have 5 weeks and you need something quicker. So you have to have a bullshit camp, a rushed camp, and on top of that, you don't even like the money that they're offering, you know. And then old media, they're saying the same shit. Oh yeah, he was reported to get $500K versus Wilder. Keyword reported. We don't know behind the scenes. We don't know if there's like spiffs or commissions or, you know, because that fight did over 1 million views on Showtime. So we don't know all the particulars of his deal. I haven't seen his contract. So once again, you got the report from the New York State Athletic Commission. What was reported? That's all we know. That, you know, he could have made more money, or he could have got, they say, hey, we'll put more money on your next paycheck. We don't know, because Gerald Miller had a deal in place with DAZN. He was going to get north of $6 million to $8 million. He was going to get a small portion of the Sky Sports pay-per-view, you know, box office pay-per-view, and he was guaranteed like $1.5 million or so for his next couple fights on DAZN, even if he lost. So there was specifics sprinkled into his contract. That's why people, when it all came out, they were like, yo, you really dropped the ball, Miller. You really dropped the ball, because not only did you lose the money for the Joshua fight and the opportunity at 4 belts, they were going to give you money, you know, for additional fights, even if you were to lose. See, for Luis Ortiz, bullshit half camp, not liking the deal monetarily. And then on top of that, he wasn't a DAZN fighter, so he didn't have all these additional perks where he was guaranteed for his next 3 purses, even if he were to lose, $1.5 million apiece. Gerald Miller had all that in contract. So how you going to shortchange Luis Ortiz, who has a better resume and already fought for a title? How could everything? Listen, let's do some real quick math. Let's do 1.5. They said for Gerald Miller, for his next 3 fights, even if he were to have lost to Joshua, he was going to get like $1.5 million for his next 3 fights. 1.5 million plus 1.5, that's 3. So 1.5 million times 3 is 4 million and a half. 4.5 million. So his next 3 fights, he would have got 4.5 million. Plus he was already getting 6 to 8 million plus just for the Joshua 1 fight. Plus he was going to get a portion of the Sky Sports pay-per-view, depending on how much. So he could have got, let's say, 10, 12 million just for the Joshua fight. A chance at the belts, a full camp, $10 million, plus he would have gotten his next 3 fights, 4.5 million. Luis Ortiz, he has to get all his money in one fell swoop because he's a PBC fighter and an Al Heyman fighter. So this wasn't signing on for DAZN for your next 3 fights. So you have to make it right and make everything. So basically, Miller could have got 15 million between the Joshua fight and his next 3 fights because he would have been on DAZN, ongoing. You know what I'm saying? So even if he lost, they were going to give him 1.5. So he blew a big bag for sure. Luis Ortiz, this is a late minute field. So if he were to lose, hypothetically, then he would have been stuck at $4 or $5 million. Not this, hey, your next 3 fights, we're gonna guarantee you 1.5 million or whatever. So that changes the dynamics of things, because Luis Ortiz has to make it make sense the first time, because he wasn't planning on staying on DAZN. So win, lose, or draw, he has to get something he's accepting of and comfortable with. Gerald Miller got something he was comfortable with because of, you've seen how the deal broke down. But, you know, for Miller, this was a late replacement. So you have to look at the whole situation. That's the whole point. So yeah, Miller took the deal, but there's more. Like, again, we don't know what, because it said he was getting $500K versus Wilder. We don't know all the details that was promised to him and shit like that. You know, because there's sometimes little stipulations like that. So yeah, Gerald Miller blew a huge bag. He blew a huge bag. Listen. So, once again, new media, I'm destroying them. This is from ESPN directly. Everybody look. Hold on. This is I just typed it. That's a direct quote from ESPN. It says Miller is due to earn a career high. That's from ESPN. And I'm going to send you the link. So you know I'm not just pulling numbers out the air like they do. Okay, so ESPN, that's the link so you guys can get the same information. It says Miller is due to earn a career high purse of $4.875 million. So let's say $5 million, round to the nearest whole number. So for Joshua, he was going to get at least $5 million. Not to mention additional money he stands to earn from a percentage of the profits from the fight on Sky Sports box office pay-per-view in the UK. Miller's deal with DAZN also called for 2 comeback fights worth $1.5 million apiece in the event that he loses to Joshua. I said 3, but it's 2. So he would have got $3 million even if he lost to Joshua. Obviously, if he beat Joshua, he can try to demand more money. But even if he were to get knocked out by Joshua, DAZN was going to give him $3 million in his next 2 fights. So $5 million, it's the same principle. $5 million right in the beginning, plus additional money from the UK pay-per-view, plus he would have been guaranteed his next 2 fights $3 million. So Luis Ortiz, since he wasn't planning on sticking around and fighting on DAZN, he would have to get all of his shit up front. I think they were estimating he would have got about $8 million. Yeah, they said he would have got about $8 million, $10 million, whatever. So he would have got basically $13 million by starting off with this DAZN deal. And even if he were to lose, and obviously if he beat Joshua, then he would have got $8 million, $10 million, and then he could have, he would have got more money fighting Joshua in a rematch. So you guys are crazy if you think Luis Ortiz should take the fight for $5 million or $3 million or whatever. We don't even know what they offered him. And once again, Gerald Miller's my guy, but I'm not trying to be rude. Gerald Miller ain't done, and we all knew this and we all said this, Gerald Miller ain't done what Luis Ortiz has done. So if anything, shouldn't Luis Ortiz, who's already fought for a title and has a better resume as a pro and good recent performances, shouldn't he be getting more than Gerald Miller? See how stupid they sound once you know the actual facts, these man fans? So if put it this way, that's like Danny Garcia was supposed to fight Amir Khan in a rematch, and they were going to give Danny Garcia X, Y, and Z, and then he's injured, so then they get Errol Spence, and then they try to offer him less, but Errol Spence, let's say he had a better resume and better recent performances, and he's undefeated. That doesn't make sense. Luis Ortiz has done more than Gerald Miller, right, resume-wise, and already fought for a title. Shout out to Compton. And you mean to tell me he probably got offered less from Eddie Hearns? That's crazy. How you do more and then get less? Oh, let me guess, because Gerald Miller did the trash talking. All right, Kingsley, you're in the hot seat. Once again, a guy with a Nigerian name. Joshua's Nigerian. Imagine that. You just admitted we don't know what was offered. I also said earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were here, that somebody told me that old media, they said he got offered $5 million. I said, I don't know where that even came from. But irregardless of that, Luis Ortiz's team said that they got lowballed. So I never claimed to know the actual number. But guess what? Ortiz's team said they got lowballed. So it doesn't matter what it was offered, because they didn't like the offer. That's the whole end of the story. How do you know what was offered was less than Miller? Now, to answer that part of the question, because Miller was signed on where even if he lost, his next 2 fights would be on DAZN for $3 million. We know that Luis Ortiz was being brought in as a shoe-in. He's not a DAZN fighter, so he wouldn't have got that $3 million because he's with Al Heyman and PBC. His next 2 fights wouldn't have been on DAZN. That's how I know. Now it's your turn. So good job, Kingsley. You're in the hot seat. They think they could beat me. They think this. They said it's gonna be easy. This ain't Berto. They say it's gonna be easy, right? So yeah, let's hear your rebuttal now. I just answered everything you just put. You can put all the crying emojis. Who told you this? We can get a name of evidence. Ortiz's team were quiet. Strike 1. Answer the question. You see how he's diverting? Kingsley Okafor. I love the hot seat. Let's get it. Strike 2. Answer the question. We don't care about anything you're saying unless it's an answer. So you have 2 strikes. Good luck. So I just told you. They said they got lowballed and they didn't like the offer. He wasn't signed on for his next 3 fights to be on DAZN. We know that much. What's your question? Block him. Strike 3. Please block Kingsley Okafor. Playing games. What's your question? We're not playing that. Thank you for playing. Have a good day. Shout out to Anonymous Guy. Exactly. Eagles Army with the follow-up. He said it wasn't even a good enough offer to draft up a real contract, if that's an indication of the nature of their offer. Exactly. So you knew he wasn't going to take it because you didn't even, they said they didn't even get a written contract with it. It was just, back and forth offers. So that's how you know it's some bullshit. How Cursor gonna talk shit to the person after he clapped him? Hey, you a wild boy, Cursor. he gonna put a one-liner at the end. Hey, these shooter, I told you they ain't got no chill, bro. Cursor ain't got no chill, bro. So it doesn't matter how much they offered him. Obviously, it wasn't an offer that they were willing to take. Obviously, it wasn't an offer for 3 fights in a row on DAZN. So yeah, Gerald Miller messed up a bag. He was offered a lot of money. Block Kyle Livingstone. Another person from the UK, because we don't say Shiite. Block Kyle Livingstone. He said, wipe yourself off, you dead. And on that note, I'm out of here. Because these dudes are just going to keep trying to troll. I've made my statements. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. That's what happens when you're in the lead. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to do too little. You do your numbers, say your points, and you keep it pushing. So appreciate you guys for the super chats, shooters holding me down, channel members holding me down, and everybody who listened. We'll see who Joshua fights next. On that note, I'm out. You guys have a good night. Peace out.